The Edmonton Oilers make two sneaky good signings out of the NCAA in the Finnish League ahead of tonight's game against the Los Angeles Kings. All that and more today on Oilers Digest. As we set that one up coming on later tonight. Huge one when it comes to home ice for the Pacific Division. But if you have not yet subscribed, make sure you do so. 75% of you watching these videos have not hit that button down below. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit it for any and all Oiler content leading up to and during the Stanley Cup playoffs and eventually, the draft, free agency, so on and so forth, folks. But let's get right into it here by putting some more pen to paper. Lots of signings done by Stan Bowman as Stan's getting busy. Yes, he made a signing out of the Finnish League and the NCAA, making those official today. The first one up on the docket here is Finnish defenseman Atro Lepinen. The 26-year-old led Liga in scoring this season, setting an all-time record for points by a blue liner. Fantastic work done here by Stan Bowman and the rest of the Oilers' European scouting staff as they signed him to a one-year entry-level deal for next season for a grand total of 975,000, folks. That is some tidy work here done by the Oilers management, trying to just bolster up their depth heading into next season. As again, the cupboard's very, very bare. The 26-year-old is coming off a remarkable season for Vasan Sport in Finland's Liga, recording a league-high 60 points, 21 goals, 42 assists, over 60 games, which set an all-time Liga record for points by a defenseman. His 42 assists were also tops amongst all blue liners, while his 21 goals ranked second. He also added 3 assists in 8 post-season contests there. From Stephen Ellis here of Daily Faceoff on Atro Lepinen, one of the best European free agent signings this year. And I mean, he's got the resume to go along with that there. The league's best player of the regular season. Of course, David Tomashek was the best player of the SHL regular season there. So, Sweden, Finland, the Oilers picking up the MVPs from both leagues there. And then the Liga Golden Helmet, I do believe that is the point leader throughout the season. Liga most point and most assists by defenseman, 42. Most points with 63. Most points by defenseman in one season, all-time 63. Most points by defenseman, and he was a two-time player of the month in January, in November. But that is not all here for the Oilers. They finally signed the UFA 23-year-old forward Quinn Hudson to a 2-year entry-level contract starting now. The first year of the contract is used up, so they burned up that first year, and he will be an RFA at the end of next season there with a cap hit of 875,000, and he's only eligible to play NHL regular season games. He's ineligible for NHL playoff games or AHL games, as he was not on the team's reserve list before the trade deadline. That's why you can see all these guys like Ivan Demidov he's making his Canadiens debut tonight, because obviously he was drafted by the Canadiens, but Quinn Hudson, he was only a college free agent here for the Oilers, so it's good to see him get his debut tonight. He's making his NHL debut tonight against the LA Kings, but it sucks that I can't see him what he can do in the Stanley Cup playoffs. But still, good on Stan Bowman finding these diamonds in the rough here. When the going gets tough, he finds a way to make it work here. Other than the draft in free agency, he's finding European and college free agents. That is always a good way to again bolster up your team. He did that in Chicago. There are tons of European free agents. Artemi Panarin for one, but Hudson spent 3 years at the Boston University for the Boston University Terriers. Lost in the Frozen Four championship game this weekend there to Western Michigan. But still going from one high pressure situation to another after he put up 28 points in 39 games as a freshman, 36 points in 40 games last season, and 50 this year to rank second in the entire NCAA in points per game at 1.39, behind only Isaac Howard of Michigan State at 141. Of course, Quinn Hudson, 117 points there in 104 or 114 points in 117 games. Had that one the other way around, so he's almost a point per game in his entire college career. Coming from the Elite Prospects NCAA free agent guide, always open and ready to fire instantly, Hudson is a goal scorer. What separates him from other NCAA goal scorers is how he's constantly moving to become the perfect option and seems to read the play far in advance. Hudson is becoming increasingly dynamic at this level. He prefers the give-and-go quick possession game, but he shows deception, pace, and creativity doing it, which is what you'd love to see out of that player. Just someone that brings a different dynamic to the Oiler roster. Of course, many players on this roster, have a tendency to overpass it. But Hudson, he doesn't think, he just goes, and that's what you'd love to see here from a young gun here, 23 years old. This Oiler roster isn't getting any older, but they bring on another young face. They're always love to see that here with the depth and the young players on this team. And from Jason Greger here, says look for Quinn Hudson to get into a game this season. He will play tonight. He isn't eligible for the playoffs though with the Oilers. Expect him to start in the AHL next season with the Condors. Smart player who continues to improve and gives the Oilers a younger forward prospect, like I just mentioned, as he is 23 years old, and he took the morning skate here with the Oilers this morning amongst the other big names for the Oilers who will not be playing today, but of course the morning skate optional. I'll always love to get, make sure the legs are always fresh there. Says it's a great spot, a great opportunity. I think there's a lot of opportunities to develop here. It's an unbelievable setup, and I'm just excited to get started. Well, kid, you're in tonight as they take on the Los Angeles Kings, and I'm sick of these guys. I'm sick of the Los Angeles Kings. 4 years in a row in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Hopefully they can go 4 for 4 in terms of beating them. Doesn't matter how many games it takes. I don't care. Just get it done. But I'm so sick of the LA Kings. And guess what? The Oilers see them one more time before the season ends tonight. 9 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Mountain here on Prime. So don't get confused. If you can't find the game, folks, it's on Prime tonight, as you can see from all the obnoxious commercials that you've seen about it all week long there. So Oilers, Kings at Rogers Place there. And you can see the long list of casualties here for the Oilers. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, although he is back in the lineup going forward, he's playing tonight. Leon Draisaitl is out tonight, questionable for San Jose on Wednesday night, likely for Game 1. Jake Bowman not playing tonight, maybe in San Jose, maybe Game 1 of the playoffs. Troy Stecher not playing Monday as he got tangled up last night, and he left the game early against the Winnipeg Jets, probable for Game 1. Zach Hyman not playing Monday, probable for Game 1. Trent Frederick, hopeful he can play at the start of the playoffs, so the high ankle sprains, you don't want to rush a player back from that too early, and I think that's what they did against the LA Kings last Saturday, or 2 Saturdays ago. So, yeah, that's something that you cannot rush. But hopefully we do see Trent Frederick at some point in the playoffs. Evander Kane still needs medical clearance. Maybe Game 1 of the playoffs. The video before this one, Matthias Ekholm not playing anytime soon. Will miss round 1 and maybe even part of round 2. As we don't know what he's dealing with, but he's been dealing with it for quite some time. Connor McDavid out Monday for rest precautionary reasons, is expected to play in San Jose. Knoblauch saying, too much to lose. We're playing that extremely safely. With how the Kings play, that is a very, very smart move. Sure, home ice is, up for grabs, but you want to make sure your guys are healthy. And the Oilers re-signed 2 players to Bakersfield this morning with Noah Phillip and Derek Ryan due to cap purposes for bringing Josh Brown up, and Quinn Hudson activating him into the lineup. And you will see Josh Brown in the lineup tonight with the Oilers going 11-6 against the LA Kings, playing one man short. Vasily Podkolzin, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Victor Arvidsson. Of course, this is all projected. There hasn't been an official lineup released, but it should look something similar to this with Jeff Skinner, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown. Corey Perry, who had a phenomenal game last night against the Winnipeg Jets, with Mattias Janmark and Quinn Hudson, who will be wearing number 20, last worn by Slater Kukuk there back in that 2021 shortened season. And the extra 2 forwards here, Max Jones and Kasperi Kapanen. On the back end here, still without Ekholm in Bowman, you got Darnell Nurse and Evan Bouchard, Brett Kulak and Ty Emerson, and then Cam Dineen, who had a pretty solid game against the Jets last night, and Josh Brown, which should be an interesting one against the Kings tonight. Josh Brown likes to get physical, and so do the LA Kings, so hopefully Josh Brown can do something tonight and kind of be useful. In other cases, he is not there, so the big bruising Josh Brown, just do something tonight, man. That's all we ask. And the LA Kings and the Oilers still battling for that second spot in the Pacific Division. Of course, if the Oilers do win out and the Kings lose all of their games in regulation, the Oilers will get home ice for the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But it all boils down to LA losing all 3 of their games here against the Oilers, the Kraken, and the Calgary Flames, who themselves are still in a fight for that last wild card spot there in the West. So it could be an interesting one if the Oilers manage to get things done. And same with the Seattle Kraken there, but it'll be a tough test as the Kings are 6-1 in their last 7. Just taking a look at their lineup, Andrei Kuzmenko, who's been on fire since being acquired by the from the Philadelphia Flyers, I should say, with Anze Kopitar, Adrian Kempe, Kevin Fiala, who always kills the Oilers, and I hate to see it, alongside Quinton Byfield and Alex Ferrier, Warren Fogle, former Oiler, with Philip Deneau and Trevor Moore, and then lastly here, Jeff Malott, who almost had his first NHL goal against the Oilers, but it was taken away by the offside challenge with Sammy Hellenius and Alex Turcotte on the back end here, with no Joel Edmondson or Drew Doughty. The Kings still have Mikey Anderson, Brant Clark, Vladislav Gavrikov, Jordan Spence, Jacob Maurer, and Kyle Burrows, with Darcy Kemper, who the last time he played the Oilers got a shutout in that 3-0 win by the Kings there on April the 5th, with the goals against average of 2.05 and a save percentage of 921 there. So it should be a very interesting one tonight, folks. Oilers, Kings, both teams just trying to get into the playoffs as healthy as they can be, while still trying to battle for that second spot. That is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the Oilers' two newest signings. Are you surprised that you saw Quinn Hudson brought up this quickly? Of course, he had some trouble with his flight this morning, but still made it to Edmonton safely, and should see him safely on that third line right wing, unless Kris Knoblauch decides to change it. He probably will. He always does that after these videos are released. The projected lineup that he puts out is always different from this one, but of course, I'm not the coach, he is. But that is it. Again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe here to the channel for any and all Oiler news. We'll be back with an Oilers-Kings recap tomorrow. Hopefully it's a fun, happy one. Who knows with this Oiler team against the LA Kings? It's never a dull moment, despite the way LA plays. But have a great rest of your Monday afternoon, folks, and enjoy the game tonight. Let's go Oilers. I'm Matt.